All right, hello. It is time for the March 2023 review. Doing it at not a good time at all, but here I am. Mind is a little bit out there, mainly I think because of the sleep. So just for the fact that um, I don't know, I want this video to still be a quality one, but I'm going to avoid too much reflections that are maybe not as necessary. So this review honestly is I think the most relevant review out of this entire series, easily. Mainly because I feel like I had my most amazing or important moment, which unfortunately I seem to have. And well, it's evident. I not only did I have my most important moment in a positive direction, again referred to day 238, if you'd like to see it, but also my worst moment which was extended across a few days by far. It's interesting, it had both like a very good and then a very bad. I would have liked it to have been a bad and then very good. Unfortunately, it was the case of very good and then bad. Um, so quick summary, basically in day 238, I essentially realized just that I wasn't happy with where I was going at all. I had just a revelation of it got brought on, I felt like, by some kind of uh, potential anxiety or insecurity that stemmed from my situation with women and in the dating space or whatnot. But it was more than that. It was just me wanting to me understanding I have an incredible potential. And I'm not anywhere near that, and I'm just disappointed with the way that things have been going. Of course there's some good, but overall I was just no, like let's stop it. Let's just get on track with real freaking progress. And I made a commitment to no pornography and no masturbation for I said 3 months, but essentially I wanted it indefinitely. And then I wanted to work out every day, at the very worst missing on one day of the week where I don't work out. And I'd like to rock climb regularly. Not just that, I like to get my sleep in order, my food in order, which I know were the goals from previous months of this year, but also um, the the willingness to improve myself and stepping out of my comfort zone, and especially with social situations, because I have anxiety and social anxiety in some moments that I've been sheltering away from, and I was committed. I could still feel that the committedness that I had. I wrote something, and I'm not going to abandon it. I haven't read in a while, but I will read it. You know, I will be a warrior that is like on my path to what I want to do and improving myself and improving the lives of others as well. And I started it, and as I've been mentioning these past few days, when you suddenly get that burst of motivation that, in my opinion, stems from dissatisfaction with yourself, you have this power up of motivation, right? You really feel like you just feel like you have more energy. You're like, all right, I'm going to do this, and you get very productive very quickly. But that is not a permanent effect. You can't have that energy, right? And I think that energy, in some ways, it can be a difficulty. And I've talked about this before, which is, I started working out. I felt great. I loved where the way that things were moving. But then a day, a few days, like 2 or 3 days or 4 days afterwards, I ended up having I don't know why it's like my hair's just bothering me when I have a little bit of hair that's, just out there. Okay, whatever, leave it like that. Um, so I had like these good days of productivity, but then it started to go away, right? I started to, oh, I'm not feeling as motivated to do some of these things, like working out. And by a week, I failed on the pornography area in a week. And then I lasted another 4 days, and then I failed there, and then disaster struck. And but the point I was making was, that feeling of, hey, I'm motivated now, I'm doing things until finally that power up that you had goes away, then suddenly you're not really that motivated anymore and you're like, oh my God, like that crash of motivation can really demotivate you, especially if you then you have a bad day afterwards and then you go back to where you started from originally. The boost is really what you want to use that momentum to establish the important things, which in my opinion are a good sleep and, first and foremost, which is what my goals are going to be. But um, the idea is that you need to recognize the challenge and recognize that even though it feels easy in these two first few days, the challenge is coming. And so you need to be humble about it because I feel like once you get these epiphanies and you're like, I'm going to change my life, and then you start having that burst of motivation, you're going to be like, all right, this is easy. No, it's not easy. It feels easy just for these few days, but then it's the real challenge comes. And for me, that was really present when I failed and I went in a very dark place um, in the pornography area, and I missed out on my videos. I missed 4 days. Can you believe it? I had to condense 4 days into one video. I've never done that before. So I had that amazing burst of energy and direction and clarity, which I still feel so good about that path, and I'm still determined for it. And then we went in the complete opposite direction. And my takeaway from that, as I've said previously, is you're going to be challenged by your old self. That's going to just claw at you. It's just going to want to take you back to where you were. And you need to recognize it and be alert for it and be like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And the key to me, first of all, is the health stuff, the sleep, the eating, the exercise. These are foundations that help you in those moments of difficulty, I believe, by having that. If you wake up really like I have, like my sleep is so bad right now, if you're not as motivated, you're like, my day's gone. Oh, let me do whatever, let me throw away. Like that's the kind of stuff that leads to those things. So that's where my mind is at now. But that is the main gist of what happened here. And our goals changed because initially my goals were to focus on health and to do significant Twitch work. I also mentioned some romantic effort. Um, Now, in terms of the um, in terms of what's it called here? Let me. In terms of after that video, I knew my goals for this month had changed. So let me just show them right here. These were the goals I had um, from last video, right? I said good sleep, failed terribly. Middle green nutrition, failed moderately. I had some days it wasn't a complete abysmal. Healthy dinners alongside regular and healthy breakfasts, usually a good small meal for lunch on average. Didn't do this. Phone discipline. Oh, failed terribly. My phone discipline got even worse than it was before. I don't know what it is, man. I'm glued to it. All these things are related. Your sleep goes bad, your phone discipline gets bad, your eating gets bad. It all collectively spirals out of control. Regularly working out on average 4 days a week. This one I will say mild success because I was able to actually work out a lot. For the most part, I'm at least doing something other than that stint that I was in. Significant Twitch work failed, but not bad since goals changed, right? Which was more working out and actually, you know what? No, I'll say success here, not mild success, because I got to rock climbing. Uh, I I also was working out a lot. So, but the Twitch work failed, but not as bad as since the goals had changed, right? And then some romantic effort, fairly open. Um, I'm going to say um, neutral. This one felt because my mind is there, but I feel like, and I actually did take some I did go to some places at times too that led the opportunity, but not enough to the point that I'd call it a success, but not enough that I'd call it a failure either. So this is the result of what happened with our goals. In terms of the, let me see what I could do. Could I just extend this out? There we go. That's how much better is that? So now I can go from 1 to 31. So this is where we started, and look at how bad we crashed. Boom. Oh my goodness. This is a crash that we've never seen before. Granted, a big part of why this happened was because when I had that on day 238, I had that realization that I wanted to change a lot of things. You can ignore this stuff over here. These change sporadically, but this one, right? Like realistically speaking, this is not a fair downgrade. It wasn't as bad as all these colors would suggest. It's just I upped my standards for what I considered was good with my family and my friends. And romantic, well, that's different. Romantic, I definitely think justifiably should be here. Um, and nutrition, that one, this one's not. Honestly, it's not too different. I just set higher standards. Same with fitness. Um, but main job. This one definitely, my main job definitely went down. That's guaranteed. YouTube, I'm not, it's still similar other than that one time that we missed out on those days. And Twitch is one definitely I'd say has been downgraded because I haven't been as consistent as I would like. So that's basically the summary of what happened this month, but clearly a downside here. All we really did was we did sign up to rock climbing classes, so there was that. That was done, so I feel somewhat good about that. Our goals have changed here in terms of what's possible for us to be doing, but that's essentially how this month went. Now, um, the most important part out of all of this is I feel like these terrible months, as though although people might be like dreading them, and I don't like the idea of it, I feel like they are necessary things to go through. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows of a constant, steady improvement. You aren't just going to go like this. There are going to, on your way up, there are going to be those downs, but the goal is not, that it's the general direction, right? We want to slowly be walking down that positive path that we want to go to. So, with that said, what do we do? Well, we start now. We go to April 2023 goals. So, what are we going to do here? Number one by far, sleep well. What does this mean? This means go to sleep between uh, bet go to sleep between 3. I'm going to be honest with myself. Go to sleep between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Now, I know usually when I say this, I always like push it later. That's just the tendency I have. Ideally, I want to be going to sleep about 4 a.m. That's what I would like to be doing. If not 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. That is what ideally I would like to be doing. At the latest 5 a.m. Consistent, consistently. This is easily the most important thing. Number one by far. I'm gonna put it like this. This is easily. Um, no pornography. That's what we've changed. I've changed it with the masturbation. I don't want to get too specific or graphic with this kind of stuff. It is a very big impact for me. But it is to just cut it quick. No pornography, and anything that is done will be to normal thoughts in my head, and that's that. I'm leaving it at that point. That's the goal as of this moment. Um, and what else do we have? Maybe I should two spaces. Yeah, let's put two spaces. Um, we're gonna go back to middle green nutrition. Well, actually, I don't want to go middle green nutrition. I don't want to pick colors necessarily for these kind of things for my chart. So I'll be saying consistent, healthy breakfasts and good and, and fairly good dinners, which means sometimes I'll have the frozen lasagna that I'm cooking up and heating up or the pizza, but in general, I want to be eating healthy things like when I'm making my beef tacos, my pasta. I would like to start doing some fried rice as well. Um, and looking up more meals, improve my cooking that I have. Um, oh my goodness, phone discipline. Okay, specifically, I'm going to say um, I'm going to go with saying no uh, greatly improve phone discipline. I'm going to say no phone activity before bed or waking up. I'm just going to leave it at this. In the most ideal world, there's just none of it where I'm going on YouTube Shorts and whatever, but I'll just leave it at nothing here. Um, specifically for how should I say this? Like, when I have a break or my downtime here and there, I'm just going to, even though I see myself doing it, I don't want to put too harsh of a condition on this one. I'm going to be realistic. If I'm just not on my bed when I wake up on a weekend day on my phone and I don't go on my phone before bed, to me, that is insanely good and I want to just take that. Um, what else? Work out every day. Uh, Allowed one day off in a week, one day off per week if needed, and includes going rock climbing at least 3 times a week. I'm not going to get too specific with my other stuff. I'm just going to stick to this for now. The other stuff would have been one day of cardio, some core exercises, um, some leg exercises as well. What else here? Uh, Social anxiety. Get out of social anxiety comfort zone. Get out of comfort zone in relation to social anxiety. Find at least find at least 2 times this month to clearly get out of your comfort zone with this. So what I mean by this is I have some social anxiety sometimes when especially when it comes to like women particularly, that's what I really think. But if I ever find an opportunity and I want to create some opportunities. I'm sure when I go rock climbing there will be some opportunities, but to just step out and engage into that space because and not and even if it goes bad to just like take it on the chin and be like, hey, you know what, I gained some experience, next time I'll be feeling better, and just keep going with it. Because to me, I really think it's like you need to keep getting out of your comfort zone as much as you can, because if you get out of your comfort zone and it scares you, you go back to your comfort zone and you're just going to stay there forever. It's a limiting growth. So that's what I want to do. Yes, so honestly, there is nothing else that I would like to. Oh, let's add Twitch stream consistently basically. My headset died here. We're at the 20-minute mark. Stream consistently, stream consistently, and on time, which I've established actually. So for the time being, I want to start. I'm going to be streaming on Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. On Wednesdays and Saturdays, my stream starts between 12:30 a.m. and 1 a.m. because I finish work at midnight. and they'll last between 2 and 3 hours. So at the latest, I'm going to finish it at 4 a.m. And if and then on Sundays and Mondays, my stream is going to start between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. and it's going to last between 6 and 10 hours. So to me, the most important thing out of all of it is the start times. I want to not miss a single day, which I used to be really good at, but lately I haven't been. I want to always start streaming at the same times, stream consistently and on time. And I'll put accomplishments if there's anything that accomplishments if there's anything that comes to mind that I achieved, usually like a short-term goal or something like setting up my rock climbing hold, for instance, would be something. So that's that. Um, I feel good about this overall. These are our plans, nothing too crazy. I don't want to add more Twitch work other than just being consistent with that. I don't want to add any more YouTube work. To me, what I just outlined there are the fundamentals to improving my life. 100%. If I could follow what I just said right here, I will be at like such a drastic improvement to my life that I can't even begin even just getting certain individual energy. If I only get sleep, which I said is my number one, if I only do that, I am happy. But I know as much as I'm adding all of these things together, I'm looking at these and I look and I'm not being unrealistic with myself. I know I can do all of these. I know it's in my capability to do these things. So it's for that reason that I just know I feel good about it and I know I could do it. So wrapping everything up here, I feel good about this direction, especially with what I just outlined there. I feel like this month that we've had, while it had a clear directional shift that was so good, and the extremely negative place that I got in, that is a necessary step that I had to go through towards my journey of improving myself. And out of anything that I want to take from this, if someone's listening, try to realize that, hey, if you're on this journey and you hit like a really bad situation, even worse than I did, what if it lasts a whole month? Don't let that hurt you. Like, go back to it. Just get back to the mindset that you want to improve yourself, right? Take that as a obstacle and adversary that was supposed to come your way that you need to show that you're overcoming. That's the challenge, right? Some people might think the challenge is, oh, when the temptation comes or when I have a little difficulty, I'm able to get rid of it. No, I think the real challenge is getting hit. It's like the Rocky quote, no matter how many times you get hit, you gotta keep going forward, right? Which is, you're gonna get down, you're gonna get hit, and you need to just be like, you know what, I'm still gonna step up. I'm not gonna give in. I'm not gonna start settling now. I'm not gonna just cave in. You realize that you have all of us have incredible potentials, and it's sad that majority of us don't end up realizing those. So, and the key is to not let the difficulties, the obstacles, the hardships that are bound to come bring you down. It's going to feel bad. It's going to feel like shit when they happen. You're going to be questioning yourself. But at the end of the day, if you go back to yourself, you know what? All right, let's get back to it. That is the most important thing, quite possibly, out of all of this. Which comes back to my main point, going back to the original things in this channel that I talked about, the importance of consistency. Keep going. Don't stop. So I will leave you guys with that. I feel quite good about this video actually, despite how tired I am, despite how late this is, and despite how weird it is. I got this new week coming up forward right now, but let's really make April a fantastic month, and I know I can do it. And it all starts with the sleep that I'm going to be tackling right away. Stay tuned. I highly recommend you establish your own monthly goals. I think the ones that I've established here could actually apply. Normally, other than the Twitch one, but normally I feel like a lot of the goals I could have don't quite can apply to people, but I think a lot of these can apply to a lot of you. So if you want, you can copy what I have for to somewhat. Maybe we could compare at the end of this month if you want. And yeah, let's get after it together because I'm not trying to just be a positive guy that says nice things that people want to hear or something. I truly believe what I'm saying. Yeah, I truly believe that these things are possible to do. So I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next month. Be safe, be strong, and don't give up.